how they'll play out in this set. Best of 5, of course, 3 zone maps in our odd number maps, but let's start off with Splat Zone's ship shape.
Yeah, zone ship shake is a very peculiar one. The zone in the middle isn't that big. On top of that, this map specifically is very vulnerable to a lockout scenario, and I'm taken aback by trying to give an analysis of this map by the H3 Viper or Cobra, I forget which is which exactly, but the new H3 coming out on the side of SOS. I don't think I've seen any of this weapon at all, so I'm very intrigued by the pick of here of all places.
Unusual pickups for both sides as well, as you do see a pen now in the hands of one for Mirage, now being paired with a ballpoint. Them actually finding 2 players, really nicely done to completely open the door for one, and with that third onto Axe as well, a great opportunity for one to retake this control after an early strong push from SOS, but rolling back to those weapons, definitely something we don't see every day.
Yeah, it's very... Weapon choice has always been a very fascinating thing to hear, and I guess things are working out in favor of one at the very least, as they're able to get 3 down immediately off of SOS, and now flipping the script, getting virtually a delayed wipeout at that point. They're going to be able to try and see if they can get a proper lockout here, considering this is a very hard choke point to push through. Tactical Lure is online for SOS though, so they can maybe try and break through, especially with that stack with the Zipcaster. They do get 1 pick. Can they get a second pick here before they recall that? They do. The line has been broken and one's able to take control, or SOS is able to take control of the zone once again.
Yeah, and they were able to hold on to that 1-point lead, which is huge. They do lose 2 players in that backline, Zenith and Yams being the last player standing for SOS, trying to hold that control of zone, but with superior numbers. One moving in, smelling blood in the water. Zen finding a nice double on this left side as well, moving forward with that gal. That's exactly what you want to play with, that speed, that pace that one has shown us in that previous game. And if that previous set, as a matter of fact, anything to say about, they are really good at keeping teams locked out. You saw that Autobomb taking out a player of SOS as well, which will prove to be very, very costly for SOS trying to secure this zone back.
Yeah, Booyah Boom was thrown at this left elbow to try and get this Zipcast player out of there, but unfortunately it does whip. They are forced to take a re-engagement afterwards, and even though they go 3 down, SOS manages to take control of the zone, giving a heavy amount of penalty points to one and extending their time in this game alive for at least a little bit longer now. SOS has some extra time bought for their side, so they can try again to try and break through this wall of absolute defense that one has been setting up here, and now one player down. They are slowly starting to break from this wall here. SOS seeing the weakness here, diving in to try and take advantage and looking to see if they can clean up one.
Axe with this H3 does have strikes coming up, as so does Geeked with this Zipcaster. Could prove to be very special, very good specials to move forward with to try to get these picks. One will be found onto Mirage, and this is exactly where you want to be if you're on the side of SOS. Cause that disruption. Another found as well on to the opposing Stamper. That Booyah Bomb now being delayed proves to be very, very costly for one, as you see the players constantly falling down. SOS know exactly how to cause stagger situations. Cooler being up as well, as the specials are slowly coming up for one. The Booyah Bomb now being invested. This needs to be the initiation special. This needs to be the initiator to move in, but it's not going to be able to create enough space in that middle area. So you see the rest of one moving up this right side. Will there be enough paint onto the zone? The trip strikes go up pretty early to try to secure for SOS, and it will be the correct move as SOS secure that zone, keep one out of it till the very end, and take a game 1 very nicely.
Yeah, a very close opener, I want to say, from these two teams. SOS was very close to at least staying alive, or at least being contested for a little bit longer there at the end. But unfortunately for them, they did have the triple in strikes coming in at the right time to just secure the zone onto their side and ride the remainder of those points down to 0. And one though, they were looking really good for the first half of that game, keeping SOS locked up, keeping them in place. But as they started to fall, SOS started to figure out the game plan and started to counteract that, and it was able to properly punish it. And then by the end of the game, it was them the ones who were giving one a taste of their own medicine, locking them out, keeping them in place, and it was such a fascinating thing to see.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I was talking about it. What one was having that formula of just having Zen on the left side with that Gal constantly getting those picks. We saw them get a nice triple, finding a quick double, and then camping the jump as well, opening the doors for one, giving themselves new life to just hold onto the zone. But exactly like you mentioned, SOS gave them a taste of their own medicine. They were able to get control of that zone and constantly prevent these specials from moving forward. That is the exact formula. I was just talking about it as well, too. Keeping a stagger situation going, getting these key picks with that Zipcaster, moving forward, preventing the Booyah Bomb from coming out pretty early, and still causing players to go down, delaying the retake and delaying the response from one is exactly what bought SOS the time needed to knock out. And it's just flowers across the board there. It's still a long set, however. That was just game one of potentially 5 in total, as you see there. We're moving to Clam Blitz Barnacle now.
Yeah, we've seen Barnacle already in the previous set, but it was Zones, not Clam Blitz. Now, Clams is a different story than Zones here, and it could be a very interesting thing to see. Either maybe a very long stalemate between these teams or a very quick action fast back and forth pace game. We do see SOS has a few major changes on their side. The Zimmy coming out, as well as the Vanilla Shot coming out as well. And I think now that I think about it is their entire team has been swapped over.
Yeah, a completely different team comp we're seeing here from SOS. No traditional backline, but if there's any mode to do it on, it's Clam Blitz, playing to a much more aggressive pace. And you see it right here with 3 of their players being funneled up this stack area, and it's gonna cause for an ink bath up here. A lot of players now taking that 5. Zenith goes down, and although it did look like one was being crunched upon from several sides, from the front and from the side, they were able to survive that really nicely. Now we'll punch right back into a neutral position with Venex going in with that Booyah Bomb to potentially do the same onto SOS's stack.
Yeah, I mean, 1 minute into this game, nothing of major event has happened just yet. There's back and forth picks and trades and fights and special usage. SOS does have a power climb on their side at the very least, so if things do happen to go their way, they can potentially get ready for a score. But no, one has such a huge presence here in mid, such huge painting pressure on mid that SOS is just slowly being choked out on their own space. They're getting pushed back further and further. A lot of clan economy starting to go in favor of one, but the Trizuka comes shut down this hold from one, but Inkjet also comes in to try and neutralize it, but Special's coming out in return from SOS once again, but a huge shutdown from the Inkjet means that they're able still to at least hold their ground here.
Yes, and this is exactly the control that you want on the side of one. Constantly applying that pressure, and more importantly, bullying SOS back into their spawn, just given the nature of their comp. If you're on the side of SOS, you want to have that space to be able to keep up that more fighty style. That's what your speedy comp wants. These short-range weapons, such as the Zap, such as the Shot, such as the Zimmy, they want to get in your face and constantly move around, making themselves difficult to hit. But in the position they're currently in, one is leaving them just no room to operate. As you see, a nice pick from Zen forces Axe back into that corner area, but maybe I spoke a little too soon, as here comes SOS with a potential flank coming in from Yams, just drawing so much attention away.
Yeah, I think the plan there was to just beeline straight to the clan basket so they can get a jump in from AZ, but it didn't seem to work out in their favor, as one was able to quickly rectify the mistake and come dogpile onto that one player. But in the end, it didn't even matter, as SOS was able to break through the line, break through the chain, and get 2 power clams actually into the clan basket, giving them the first huge points on this game here. Now one being forced to try and clean up their area side of the map as best they can. One now using their special to just hold the line, push SOS back as best they can, but it's still not enough as one goes down 1.
Yeah, but the bounce back from SOS was really nice there, and now they've completely opened the doors to just doing exactly what one was doing, just playing with house money in mid, forcing one to push into them. But they would have a little bit more of an easier time just given the ball point that you have, given the pen that you have, just keeping the poke away. But not if Geeked has anything to say about it, just closing that gap with the Zipcaster. Ball is also right there under that basket inside of the bubble, but will anyone be able to reach it in time? Geek's moving towards it, won't be able to pick it up in time. Really nicely done from one to just crunch on surrounds them from all sides. Minute and 30 left, still plenty of time to take this lead back. You aren't under that 60-point threshold, so all it takes is 2 balls and 1 clam to take this one back, and Vermont has this Booyah Bomb to use.
Yeah, I mean, the cards are in one's hand right now to try and take away the lead here, but time is slowly slipping away. We're in the final minute of what has been a mostly stalemate game here in mid. If one can't break through this line that SOS has been having, and they keep continuously going even against SOS, they're inevitably going to be losing out in this game. But one does manage to break the cycle at least a little bit, starting to put some pressure on their side, slowly pushing SOS back further and further. But can this be the push that they need in order to get that scoring? I don't think so, as Booyah Bomb was committed, but no one was able to follow it up. Well, SOS is doing an extraordinary job just holding the line.
38 seconds left. Still plenty of clams in the possession of one. All it takes is one mechanical play, one pop-off, one opening to completely change this game here. But SOS closing the doors on it slowly but surely, as Yams finding one on that bottom left side. You have 20 seconds left. Ball in the hand of one, still moving forward. Majority of SOS actually just posted up on the stack area, knowing that is the key hold point. Mirage finds a nice one. 3 players are down on the side of SOS. This could be the opportunity that they need, but Mirage is the last player standing, dropping cooler for the rest of their team. It's go time here soon. Booyah Bomb now being invested as well. Are the clams there? Here comes Geeks, though, with the side swipe, finding one onto Mirage, another found onto the Booyah Bomb, and it does look like that last hurrah from one will fall just short. The ball dissipating in the background, and the wipeout to boot as well as the final nail in the coffin. 2-0 is your score line, as one is 1 game away from losing this one. SOS 1 game away from getting the sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the game plan there at the end from one, recognizing that they couldn't just make a beeline to the clam basket. The last play... the last player standing from one backed up a bit and waited for their team to jump in to regroup so that they can get a proper push going. But I think as the first jump in who was starting to go forward to try and advance to the clam basket was quickly picked off, I think that's when some of the panic was starting to settle in for one, and things kind of quickly fell apart after that, because SOS was able to quickly convert off of that pick into just jumping on to the next player from one and keep going and going and going until they just inevitably didn't have any players standing.
Saw SOS with a great position to constantly apply that pressure once they were able to get that control mid, but it was actually one that had a good opportunity to get some scores themselves. I mean, for a good, I felt like 45 seconds to a minute, they kept SOS in their base. I mean, I was talking about how the range advantage that one has, they were utilizing it to its fullest and constantly keeping SOS just locked in like a rabid animal in a cage, and eventually that rabid animal found a hole in the grates. They eventually found a way to get out, and that out point was on that left side when you saw, I believe it was Zen going down, and you saw the rest of SOS move forward, going across that left side, and most importantly, drawing the attention away from the rest of their team, as one was able to regain that space in such a short amount of time. It's going to be very, very intriguing to see what they change up here, if they do change anything at all, as we move to Game 3 Umami Zones. This could potentially be the do or die situation now.
Yeah, now we see SOS on a bit of a mismatch of their first 2 sets. We see weapons from their first set returning with weapons from their second game here. And now I still don't exactly know what the game plan for the weapon lineup is exactly like, as SOS does go 3 down, one moving in quickly to just take control here and try and stall SOS as long as they can. But unfortunately, we see Storm gets picked out there with the ball point, and now SOS is once again back to re-engage here.
One showing a lot of fight at this early opening, forcing that 3-player down situation, but the response from SOS has always been constant. Will it be the same here? You see the Booyah Bomb being invested on that left side, forcing back the members of SOS. You do have your Stamper going down pretty early, as well as Yams on that shot, so it does look like one will secure this zone control right back. But the key thing that one needs to know is they need to move up that elbow position. The elbow positions on zones is typically so crucial to control, as you see they weren't able to move up that far, which is why SOS found that opening they needed to secure zone right back.
Yeah, I mean, area control for those elbows is crucial here, as you mentioned. It's allowing SOS to keep themselves alive and keep the presence impactful here in mid, even if they are down one player. Now one being locked up a little bit at the very least, and does have tactical or online to try and go on the offensive here, but the Tri-Shecks paired with the Trizuka is just keeping them locked down. Inkjet from Storm does come out though to try and break the line, trying to break the chain, see if they can find a pick or two to try and allow the remainder of the team to follow it up, but no, finds no one. Bomb instead being forced to use out here to try and bring SOS out of position here. They finally find one now going in onto the zones here to see if they can cap it and get those 100 points to SOS, and that they do.
Zen has been the spearhead for one so far. You see how aggressive and fast they play. That is just the nature of the Gale. That is how you want to play. But here is the quick counter from Yams, a quick shooter player of their own right. Remember, in that previous game, they were the one to cause that distraction, and that's exactly the role they play here in SOS's comp. You have the H3 being that more supportive type role with those strikes. Speaking of which, Axe, here we are, close to strikes in and themselves. That as that penalty point ticks down slowly but surely for SOS. We want to get them online here to just keep one caged up in this elbow position.
Yeah, strikes being used now to keep one in place, making sure that the remaining members don't push up and follow up the Inkjet from Storm. Now, penalty points are almost gone at this point. They're going to start trying to extend their lead even further. SOS doing a huge job just keeping their side, their map here in mid, just constantly painted purple, constantly in the control of SOS. But one huge Booyah Bomb from one does disrupt a lot of that flow. They're forcing SOS to back up a little bit. Now using Storm with the Inkjet, gets one. There, that's a huge pick there to get SOS pushed back even further.
2 minutes left, still a long game to be played, but some life has been drawn into one's control. 20 ticks on the penalty points, 57 in the points in total. Still a very fair lead to have if you're on the side of SOS. Yams finding one on to Storm on that mid control. Then on this left side, does have Booyah Bomb coming up. The Stamper almost ready to unleash it here, and it's gonna have to come soon. Yeets, though, actually getting taken out. Really nice flick there to stay alive, crucially, with that Booyah Bomb still intact. Zones, though, still heavily contested by both sides, is the nature of Double Zones map, just giving and feeding that tug-of-war type style of fighting.
Yeah, I mean, that's really why I love Zones Umami the most, because it just, you have to be very mindful of your positioning and where your opponents are trying to paint from, try and deny that pay from the other side. It's so crucial to keep that proper pay control, because just something like that ball point could highly contest a very heavy weapon with like Junior, just because of how small the weapons are, how small the zones are. But SOS is still running away with their rampage here. Those penalty points are gone yet again. One now looking to try to re-engage here very quickly though, because their points are starting to window away. There's only 20 ticks remaining on the zone here. If they want to try and stay alive in this game for a little bit longer, they have to move in now. The Booyah Bomb paired with the Inkjet to try and get SOS out of there, but 5 ticks remaining. They need to contest one zone at the very least, but 2 going down from 1 means that SOS gets this clean 3-0 over 1.
And it was a hard-fought set to the very end, a hard-fought game there. Just that's, like I mentioned, the tug-of-war nature of Umami Zones. You have to control both of them, and it's going to be a battle of just who is able to do more with less. If you have the resources to get one side, are you giving up resources on the other? I mean, SOS was able to completely solve that problem by just dominating in that mid-control, and we saw it there from beginning to near that end. We just saw a stronger control coming out from SOS, and that's exactly why they got that one. So GG's to our top seeded SOS, taking out number 2 seeded 1, as SOS will get first place, 1 getting second place, and you see there in your third place matchup still yet to be decided, but Yaddle Tattle up 2-0 against High does look poised to take third place, barring some miracle.
Yeah, huge shoutouts again to SOS for what they did for here in the grand finals set, doing an extraordinary job keeping one in check and keeping them constantly off tempered, but one at the very least.